Welcome in, folks, to Oceanside Ice Arena. My name is Niall Cooper, and we are going to bring you some great ACHA men's Division I ice hockey here tonight in Tempe, Arizona. The Arizona State Sun Devils will be playing the visiting University of Utah Utes, and I'll call in my partner, Brett Vaughn. And Brett, last weekend for Arizona State, it was a very exciting weekend, to say the least, in the Show Me State when they played Missouri.
Yeah, on Friday night, they ended up coming back from a few goals down late in the third period, under 5 minutes, in fact, and they ended up getting the victory on Friday, but they ended up losing on Saturday. And talking with assistant coach Jim Nellis, he felt that his team turned it on when they had to, but they didn't dominate the whole stretch of play. And I think that's what's going to be tested tonight against Utah, is in terms of the record books. They're better than Utah as they were last weekend, records-wise, against Missouri State. And so it's going to be another challenge for them to try and play consistently throughout the 60 minutes instead of just fall asleep for the first two periods and then wake up in the third period. And that is important because they can try and become a better hockey team if they can play all 60 minutes.
And that is something that we talked to the head coaching staff before tonight's game about, was the consistency or lack thereof, which is something I think we will certainly see tonight in an Arizona State group that will certainly be re-energized, hungry, and looking to get after it. And we'll have starting goaltender Bronson Moore back between the pipes.
Yeah, definitely will. A friendly face back there as well for Arizona State. They're going to be able to mix around with the lineup a little bit, add in some guys that are, I imagine, very hungry. When you're sitting up in the press box watching games and not playing, you really feel and miss being out there with the guys, snapping the puck around, making plays, and I think it's going to be some rejuvenation as well for some of the bottom line guys coming in tonight, maybe adding a little bit of a spark for Arizona State.
The camaraderie has certainly been there for the Sun Devils, and as we look to the other side of the ice with the University of Utah, the camaraderie has also been there for the Utes. And while this season might not be destined to end with a national championship appearance, that doesn't mean that there's nothing left to play for this season.
Head coach Bo Bertignoli told us earlier before tonight's game that he was more focused on being able to build a culture and a foundation for his hockey program. Utah's only been up at the Division I level only a few seasons, and this coming into this year, he still wants them to try and build that type of culture and character he wants his Utah team to show on the ice as well as off the ice, with the ice staff, with the front office for Utah, of being able to also recruit and build that pipeline and be able to get friends of a friend to come and really build their team that way, almost secondhand, like there has been at Arizona State. We look at a guy like Studioso, who he had a family member last year playing on the Division I team, and they're looking for something similar to that in order to build their Utah team program up and become a contender on the national stage.
They certainly are, and the schedule this year for Utah has not been the most generous, to say the least. They've played some very high-end teams, and Arizona State just another in a line of behemoths in the ACHA that they will have to face this weekend.
Yeah, they've had to play against the Minot States, the Jamestowns, and as a team developing, as a program developing, that's the mark, that's the litmus test you want to set yourself, and it's just something that's very comfortable with Utah, being able to get themselves in those situations and be more of a formidable force down the road.
And, folks, we will see if Utah can be a formidable force tonight as when they take on the Arizona State Sun Devils. Puck drop, national anthem is just around the corner. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back in, folks, as it's almost time for hockey here at Oceanside Ice Arena. But first, the starting lineups for the visiting University of Utah Utes. In goal will be number 30, Landon Anderson. On defense, number 5, Dylan Dix, alongside number 29, Brett Meyer. At forward, number 20, Otto Chow. Number 13, Wyatt Light. And number 25, Alex King. For the hometown Sun Devils in net tonight, we will see once again number 1, Bronson Moore. On the back end, starting for the Sun Devils will be number 4, Kenneth Miller, alongside number 27, Connor Kruk, who makes his reappearance on the ice here at home. At forward, it'll be 19, Clayton Lackey, alongside 11, Elliot Plurd, and number 6, Brendan Studioso. I'm Niall Cooper. My partner is Brett Vaughn. And Brett, I am excited for tonight's game in what I think will surely be an extremely competitive game.
Definitely will. Utah coming off a good weekend of games against GCU. And we are set to go.
Sun Devils win the draw. Miller will get it over to Kruk as he stumbles. We'll push it ahead. Back on defense to the Utes. On the stick of Otto Chow. Chow will skate across the blue line. Drop one back as he lays a hard hit on Studioso back behind the play. And now Bronson Moore will settle the puck down. Kenneth Miller chips it off the half wall into the neutral zone. And throwing it back in is number 3, Stephen Paulo. Miller with a diagonal pass just off the stick of Plurd as the Sun Devils get a partial change back behind the play, but Light will pick up the puck. Light just waiting for teammates as both teams decided to make a change at the same time. And Light will push that back to the defense. For the Sun Devils will pick it up. Miller on it once again as he's been all over the puck for the Sun Devils, but he turns it over. Back the other way are the Utes. Dangling with the puck and sending it into the corner was number 11, Che Landikuzik. But the Sun Devils bring it back into the offensive as Clayton Lackey will elect for a dump and go for a quick change. And Brett, Utah with maybe the better play early on so far tonight. Husted across the line for the Sun Devils, sends it over to Platt. Platt promoted to the second line tonight after his good play of late. Havner works one into the slot, and Husted gets that shot off saved. Back at the point, Kowalchuk rips one wide of the net. Havner will pick it up, skate it all the way back to the point, and just try to throw one on from range, but it gets blocked into the neutral zone.
Utah's looking to be a little more opportunistic tonight, as they've been trying to play north-south, really just getting that puck in deep and not trying to get fancy between the center ice line.
Hoffenkamp back on defense. Will slow the play down for the Utes. Still on it behind the net, number 12, Romero. He'll drop it back. Romero looking to receive the puck as he was waiting on the face-off dot. That pass a little bit behind him. And the Utes will just dump it back in as taking a hard check behind the play was De Benedetto. Hosworth for the Sun Devils to Kowalchuk. Up now to Hoffenkamp, and Hoffenkamp will get his feet moving across the blue line. He sheds a check. Looks to throw it in front, and that just in front of Shaw. Shaw wanted the one-timer. The Utes escaping unscathed on that opportunity, but the Sun Devils come right back. Jet Larson looks to fire one, deflected behind the net. The Utes just trying to get it out, but it's kept in at the point by Teed. And Hosworth up once again as the Sun Devils pushing, coming in waves right now offensively. Palumbo, the fresh skater off the bench. He'll intercept that pass, push it into the slot. Picked back up by Utah, however, and they'll dump it in. Kinslow after the puck. He'll be the first one there. Takes a hard check. On it now, Perry. Cycling it back to the corner boards, but Teed lays a hard check, and Palumbo comes in to try to dig it out for the Sun Devils. Trying to work it back to the point where Shaw was there, and he'll intercept for the Sun Devils as they bring it back the other way. 3.5 gone in the first period. That'll score it up to Demon. Demon looking for the pass, and fans on it. Going to the far post was Deneen. Deneen was wide open. Demon couldn't get the pass to him. Miller throws one sharp angle. That'll rim all the way around. Picked back up by Kruk to Demon. Demon sizes up a shot and goes just wide. Miller will pick it back up. The Sun Devils pushing right now as the fourth line on the ice. Miller will step in, try to toe drag it into the slot. However, it's picked up by the Utes, and they'll clear it and ultimately get the puck back on defense.
Man, haven't had a breather so far. Both teams are really getting in a good groove, being able to change on the fly and keep the pace of this hockey game high.
Dylan Dix, the Scotts Valley native, with a nice move, but it got delayed on the half wall by the Sun Devils. As Arizona State forcing a turnover, and Miller, in the midst of what's been a marathon shift, will get it ahead, and the Sun Devils dump it in. Reversing and blowing a tire was Plurd. Kowalchuk steps up from the point, keeps it in. Sends it down low to Studioso, up to Lackey. He'll drop it to Kowalchuk. Kowalchuk will just rip one back into the corners. He didn't like his shooting lane. Sun Devils moving the puck with ease. Lackey throws it in front. That's deflected, and a great save from Landon Anderson as that puck was destined for the bottom corner. First great scoring chance of the game comes for the Sun Devils, but it was the man between the pipes to answer for for Utah. Kowalchuk throws it into the corner as this first line still on for the Sun Devils, trying to pin the Utes back in their own corner. And the Sun Devils will succeed as Ensign couldn't get it out. Lackey with 2 Utes on him. He'll lose the puck. A hard check laid by Plurd. And the Utes will just fire one up into the neutral zone. Landon Kuzik will get the puck, and he'll fire one high past Bronson Moore, and that finds a seam between the stanchions and goes out of play.
Man, that's been a first. I don't think I've seen a first whistle come in almost 6 minutes into the start of this hockey game, and Arizona State with the unbelievable chance as it was Zachary Kowalchuk on the redirection play. He's been playing almost like a forward. He's been lighting up the stat sheet so far. 10 goals, 7 assists on the season, and it's been some sort of resurgence for him offensively.
A much-needed resurgence as well, as he has been a key focal point in many of the comeback victories this season for Arizona State. We'll look to see if he can be a focal point tonight as well. Husted with it now, however, feeds on a Hosworth. He gets it in front of the net. Havner picks it up, and Havner throws one towards the front of the net, and a good save from Anderson.
Where it seemed Utah was dictating the pace at the start of this game of their very straightforward north to south play in the neutral zone of just getting that puck deep and trying to outwork Arizona State in the offensive zone. Arizona State's been able to battle back in terms of the momentum and been able to have a few offensive zone draws.
Drew Platt will try to play one forward to himself into the corner, but it's picked up by Dix, and he'll fire one up into the netting. And Brett, you mentioned a very fast-paced start to this period, which I think benefits both teams, you could certainly say.
Utah playing their first game of the road trip, not really showing any bust legs so far.
Husted with the puck. He'll throw one towards the net. Anderson blockers that away. In the corner boards, the Sun Devils will try to dig it out. Emerging with it is King for the Utes, and he'll just push one up to his defenseman. Meyer will gain the red line and dump it in. Chow after it. Chow with a hard stick, trying to avoid a hooking call. As he's getting into it back behind the play. Bronson Moore will cover for a stoppage. A little bit of a physical element beginning.
It's not a bad strategy for Utah of trying to be straightforward and get the puck in the offensive zone. We've seen it a few times, especially at home. Arizona State can be a little too fancy breaking out of their own zone, and that could sometimes lead to some costly turnovers against the other team.
Hoffenkamp steps into the draw, and he'll win it. Kruk will wrist one around the boards. Taking a check, but doing a good job to get that puck out was Jet Larson. And the Utes will send it right back in. Moore, the ever-active goalie, comes out of his net, plays it. The Utes first one on it. A hard check from Miller, though, will strip the puck away. And now Hoffenkamp can skate it up. Hoffenkamp with speed. Gets across the blue line for a shot. And that one easily gloved down by Landon Anderson. However, not so easy to defend. Timothy Hoffenkamp, who's been a very big presence for the Sun Devils this season.
He ended up getting nicked up last year, and you can see how more comfortable he is on the ice of being able to play consistently, and he's been showing his performance.
Shaw in the corner, trying to lift the stick. Hoffenkamp with him. Shaw still going at it. And the Utes will try a soft chip forward. Kruk with an active stick, almost breaks it up. but it's Ensign on it. Ensign wants the shot. Hoffenkamp denied that. In his feet, Hoffenkamp, he'll turn it over. Landon Kuzik wanted to make a toe drag, but Kruk read that. However, we will have a penalty back behind the play on the Sun Devils.
Looks to be the defenseman, Connor Kruk. But he has had a good start to the game as he was injured the past few games at Oceanside Ice Arena in Tempe. He was dealing with an injury, but it's great to have him back. Sort of that veteran presence, although he is one of the younger age guys on the team, of being able to calm things down in their own zone.
He certainly does play a lot older than he is, although I will say, Brett, I miss his presence here in the broadcast booth. He was a great cameraman.
Definitely was. He was able to get all the angles and even zoom in a few times.
Sun Devils get an early clear on this penalty kill. We are almost 8 minutes into the first period. Non-stop action. Utes will bring it back the other way. Across the blue line, into the slot. Now sizing up a shot, and he'll get one off. Bronson Moore gloves it. He wanted to get a quick clear himself, but the referees wanted to make sure that play was blown dead. There's the defenseman Brett Meyer with that shot. Sun Devils switching penalty killers. The assistant captain Husted steps out on the ice. He'll win the draw, and the Sun Devils with another clear, courtesy of the captain Kowalchuk.
Those face-offs are so crucial. Being able to clear that puck down kills off about 20 or 30 seconds of power play time and can usually get the team with the power play out of rhythm.
Sun Devils would love to get the Utes out of rhythm here and take a little momentum. Landon Kuzik wants to deny that as he'll rip a shot from the left face-off dot. Bronson Moore will glove that down, however. Bronson Moore got a rare weekend off, Brett, when the Sun Devils went and played Missouri State, and it's certainly good to see him back between the pipes as he's definitely in that upper echelon of goaltenders in the ACHA.
For a goaltender, you can always be high-strung. You're the last line of defense back there, more of a thankless job, and being able to get a few games off can really do wonders for your confidence and for the season-long journey.
And it's always good, too, to get the backup goaltender some action because you never know when an opportunity will present itself for any of the goaltenders. And so far this season, Usinski and Evertson have played solid when they have been called upon. The Utes down inside the final minute of their power play. Working the puck down low on the right wing. DiBenedetto now trying to evade the pressure of Jet Larson. Will skate it down low, reverse it to Light. Jet Larson and Hosworth applying the pressure with active sticks. Light forced to skate all the way back behind the net and up to the blue line as the Sun Devils will outman him and get the puck out. Husted with speed, trying to get back behind the defense. He'll look for a shot, and he scores! Andrew Husted on the penalty kill with 23 seconds left on the Kruk minor. Gives the Arizona State Sun Devils an early 1-0 lead.
Also have to give Kenneth Miller an assist as well to that goal, as he was able to help shepherd Light up to his own blue line, and from there they were able to suffocate him, cause that turnover, and Husted took it from there, going all the way down and being able to snipe one on the snapshot.
Oceanside Ice Arena, very cold tonight, Brett, but a red-hot start for the Sun Devils with that shorthanded tally from Husted. Studioso now will backhand one, and that'll get down and out, Brett, and maybe the best penalty kill we've seen this season from Arizona State. There's a call back behind the play. Trying to decipher who this is on. I believe it's on University of Utah, and it will be going to the box, number 15, James Cahill. And Brett, I was alluding to the great penalty kill, and I believe that only further reinforces the point.
Definitely does. Clayton Lackey was able to hustle out his Utah defender and ended up forcing him into an interference call. So now Arizona State's going to be able to try and add one more to their lead.
And you could argue a smart play by the Salt Lake City native James Cahill to take down Lackey, as he had speed and the last man back for the Utes. You'd much rather give up a power play opportunity than a breakaway. The Sun Devils will now try to take advantage of said opportunity. Havner will backhand it behind the net. Studioso just sends one all the way back around to Lackey. He'll walk the line. Over to Havner, back to Lackey. Lackey fakes the shot. Some quick puck movement as Studioso throws one in front. He wanted the tip from Plurd. Goes just wide, picked back up by Havner. Into the slot to Kruk. He'll touch pass it to Lackey. Back in the middle to Kruk. Havner passes one across. Studioso a little bit behind him, but he picks the puck up. 50 seconds passed in this power play. The first unit's still on. Studioso fakes the shot to Lackey. He'll go high, and that'll rim all the way around and out of the zone.
Arizona State doing a good job moving the puck around. I'd just like to see them pick a better option, as it ended up coming to Clayton Lackey, but he had a short angle shot. Not the greatest percentage of being able to convert or even get a rebound there, and he ended up missing the net and allowing a free clear for Utah.
Kowalchuk with speed, skates it in the offensive zone. He'll rim one hard around in Husted, who picks it up, settles it down, and wrists one back to point to Hosworth. High to low, back to high, Hosworth. Husted in the middle trying to find Platt, but it was a defensive stick courtesy of number 20, Otto Chow, that broke that chance up. Shaw kicks one ahead to Platt, back to Shaw, but it hops over his stick, and the Utes will send it all the way down.
Beautiful use of trigonometry there by Shaw at his own offensive blue line, but unfortunately just bobbled over the stick of Platt as he was in on a mini breakaway.
Hosworth to Kowalchuk. Kowalchuk will drop it, and Hosworth gets over just in time to keep it alive. We are at even strength now. A successful kill for the Utes. Looking to make something happen after the kill. A 2-on-1 the other way. Husted back, the only one on defense in front of the net, but unable to handle it was Jerome as he got in behind Husted, fresh off of the penalty kill. The Utes still on it at the point, and activating for that shot was Dylan Dix. A good block by the Sun Devils, and they'll get a change back behind the play. Meyer skates it across the blue line, but just feeds the puck to the Sun Devils as he had no other options. It's Kenneth Miller now will bring it in himself. Miller sizes up his shot, and not giving up a rebound there was Landon Anderson, is waiting on the doorstep for the Sun Devils, number 13, Alex Demon.
Sun Devils with a decent power play, but it seemed to be that Utah is really well disciplined in understanding what Arizona State wanted to do when they roll into that umbrella power play in the offensive zone. And they were able to plug up really all the lanes and only allowed opportunities that were not grade A.
Kruk rips a hard wrister just wide of the net. The Sun Devils the first ones on it. Demon gets one to the point. Kruk, he'll switch it over to Miller. Miller a shot. Nobody in front of the net, and that'll be held as the Utes doing a good job clearing out the front of the net for Anderson.
They're making it very difficult for Arizona State to try to get bodies in there. They're going to have to, one, win the physical battle of forcing their way to the front of the goaltender, Anderson, but also, two, once they get there, they have to be able to realize where that puck is going to be played, and it just allows more confusion for the offensive team, and they have to deal with that.
King will win the defensive zone draw, but it's the winger Demon who's first to the puck. Palumbo lays a check, separates the puck from the man, and will throw one on net where Anderson will cover it up. As we see right now, the Sun Devils rolling all four lines. Third and fourth lines did a great job in the last home series the Sun Devils had, helping to lead Arizona State to a victory. Trying to lead them to a victory here is Demon, and as he backhands one from the slot through traffic. Anderson had to get down on all fours to cover it up.
Got to give credit to Alex Demon on that shot. It was tough because it ended up handcuffing him as the puck was right near his skates, but he ended up getting a backhand on it. And all you're really trying to do is just get the puck towards the net and hope for a rebound when you're taking that type of shot.
Hoffenkamp gets to Shaw. Shaw throws one in front loose as Anderson couldn't corral it. Jet Larson the first one on it. He'll send it behind the net. Hoffenkamp trying to beat out the captain King to the puck, but King will fire one into the neutral zone to alleviate the pressure. As we'll have a stoppage with 7:15 left in the first period.
Also great to see the Utah native for Arizona State, Zachary Teedy, probably playing against some of his former players that he was playing with in Utah.
Larson throws one into the Utes zone as he takes a hard check from Romero behind the play. Hoffenkamp wanted to pick the puck off at the blue line, but it's the Utes who persevered and send it all the way in. Cahill sizing up whether he wants to activate from the point, thinks better of it. As Hosworth right now just trying to evade the pressure of Nahara. Hoffenkamp attracts 2 Utes as he'll pass it forward to Shaw, and that deflects up into the bench. Little stop and go action right now after a very hot start to this period, Brett. Certainly beneficial for the Utes as they're looking to take the momentum away from the Sun Devils. Arizona State penalty kill, getting that first goal, and the penalty kill has certainly been a bonus for Arizona State this season. Maybe one of the best aspects of their game.
Definitely has, and can be a calming force as well back there of understanding that your team can be aggressive, and if they take penalties, you're able to negate the power plays.
Kowalchuk steps up, trying to lay a hip check, but just stepping out of the way was Jerome as he gets his helmet back on straight. Sidestepping a hard check in the neutral zone was Slavic. Slavic coming back, slows down the Utes. So they'll throw it back in behind Morris. He comes out to play it, settles it down. The Sun Devil breakout's not the cleanest, but Hoffenkamp will persevere, get the puck, try to dump it in. But the Sun Devil's very tired behind the play, will go for a change. That allows the Utes to skate it forward. Meyer sends it over to Ensign, back to Meyer. And to Kuzik, the first one on the puck. He'll reverse it to Ensign, tries to get it out of his skates. Slavic giving chase. He'll pin him up against the boards. And that allows the Sun Devils to clear it out. A 2-on-2 the other way. Kowalchuk coming in late as the third man. Flirted across the line. Waits, throws one in front, and Kowalchuk with the stick between his legs tried to deflect it just wide. Studioso fresh off the bench. Will get into the corner. He gets the puck, throws it over to Lackey a little in front of him. And it's Ensign on the puck now for the Utes. He'll just chip it off the glass, but that may go far enough for an icing, and it will. The Utes unable to get that change completed.
Bit of an undisciplined play by Ensign for Utah. He didn't gain that center ice line. All he had to do was take a few more steps. No Arizona State player was on him. He just had to work a little more harder to be able to cover that center ice line and dump that puck in without it being an icing call.
The closest Sun Devil to him was number 19, Clayton Lackey, and Brett, certainly not the most imposing player if you're worried about the physical side of the game at 5'9", 175. But we'll give credit where credit is due. Lackey made sure that he got the icing. The Utes this time will send all the way down, but a good effort as Bronson Moore takes a check and has to play that out himself. Light was the Ute giving chase. Flirted a little trouble clearing it. On the second opportunity, he'll get it forward, and Studioso after it. 5 minutes left in the first. Sun Devils looking to add more as Miller fires a knuckle puck from the blue line, and that's gloved down by Anderson.
Anderson's been playing the majority of the games for the Utes so far this season with a record of 3-5, and he also has the only shutout for this Utes team this season.
Second line on now for the Sun Devils. Drew Platt, he'll win it. Husted was trying to pick it up, but it squirts out to Kruk. And he'll just feed Platt. Platt throws one a little in front of Husted, and it's Light the other way with speed. The Sun Devils getting fresh defenseman on behind the play. Allows Light to step in. He fires one. That goes just wide of the net. A penalty coming back behind the play. I believe on the Sun Devils, that'll be too many men as Arizona State a little flustered when they saw Light coming with speed right towards Bronson Moore.
I think it might have been Lanfear and Hosworth mixed up on who was going to be coming out for that change for that defenseman. And with Utah being so aggressive, causing that turnover and going the other way with Light, he was able to force Arizona State into making a costly mistake as there were too many men out on the ice for the Sun Devils. Now the Utes can get back to work on their second power play.
Wyatt Light, the Manhattan Beach, California native, used to seeing those clogged roadways down in Southern California. He saw a wide open roadway right down the middle of the ice and took advantage, creating a power play for the Utes. Utah will keep it alive at the point. Landa Kuzik, the leading scorer, sends it over to Dix. Dix trying to feed one into the slot, but Timothy Hoffenkamp breaks it up. And Hoffenkamp will bring it the other way. Making a move to the net is Larson in behind the defense. Hoffenkamp over to Larson and denied at the last second in front by the left leg pad of Anderson. The Sun Devils almost got their second shorthanded goal of the game. The Utes come back the other way. Landa Kuzik on his off wing. He'll just skate it past Kowalchuk behind the net. Feed it over to Meyer. Meyer gets it to King, who will just delay until Landa Kuzik can pick it up to King, and he fans on the one-timer. Still loose in front, backhanded just wide. Kowalchuk will slap one ahead. Larson takes a hard check. Palumbo on the ice now will skate it out for the Sun Devils, and they'll get a change behind the play. Palumbo, a quick shot. That one goes a little high and wide. And the Utes will get a change, restart from their own end with 45 seconds left on the power play. Ensign picks it up, skates it across the blue, just gets past the hip check of Miller as he's waiting for fresh troops. Light on it now. Light claps one, and Drew Platt laying out to block that. Took a hard one in the skates. Ensign fires one, back behind the net, Benedetto. As Kruk trying to push the puck away from him. Benedetto to Light. Across now to Paolo. Paolo throws one on short angle. That ends up back on the netting behind the goal. The Sun Devils will pick it off the netting and send it down the ice.
Couple big plays. Number 14, Drew Platt, as well as Palumbo being able to block those shots and front that man who's shooting from the point, being able to make some big stops.
Power play over now for the Utes as Lackey on the ice for the Sun Devils. Still on it, though, is Ensign, as he threw that to nobody in particular in the slot, and that gets deflected down the ice. The Sun Devils will get that first line back out, fresh off of the penalty kill. Paolo skates it across the red line, in on sides of the Utes. Paolo throws a backhander in front, and Bronson Moore with the paddle down will save that with just over 2 minutes left in the first.
And it's those little things like blocking shots is what makes the difference at the end of the day of a national championship contender or somebody that's not going to be able to make the national tournament, of being able to pay the price to win hockey games, and Arizona State did that just there on that penalty kill.
You can certainly see why Drew Platt got the promotion for the Sun Devils. Not just showing up on the score sheet, but also doing all the little things that enable your team to get a much-needed victory. As I'm sure he'll be putting on an ice pack after the game. Plurd now drops it to Studioso. Studioso wanted to feed Hosworth at the far point. That broken up by the Utes and goes all the way down the ice. 90 seconds left in the first period as Slavic a little trouble with the puck. On edge right now is the ice very choppy. Hosworth misses that pass. Has to go back, and he'll feed one all the way up where it's collected by Plurd. Plurd, the leading scorer for the Sun Devils, gets behind the defense, throws one in front, loose in the crease as the Utes nearly committing an own goal. And they'll send it all the way down the ice. Kowalchuk fakes out the first Ute, skates past Ensign and across the blue line, but Drew Platt couldn't quite drag that foot, and the Sun Devils go off sides.
And there being a mix-up in communication as Dylan Dix was able to clear that puck dangerously in front of his own net all the way down, but Bronson Moore ended up skating out like he was going to play it, and I think that ended up crossing up the far side linesman of negating the icing call, even though he didn't touch it.
Sun Devils skate it into the offensive zone. Get it all the way back up to Kowalchuk as he'll delay, wait for Lanfear to get back to the point. Lanfear has a stick tied up by Jerome, trying to seal the wall, but it squirts out to Kowalchuk. Kowalchuk with a heads-up play, gets it to Havner. The Sun Devils can bring it on with possession in front of the net. Kowalchuk, Havner back on it, but nobody can settle it down, and the Utes back the other way. Ensign with speed, 30 seconds left. Ensign drops to Jerome. In his skates, Havner came back, and Moore steps out of his crease to play the puck into the neutral zone. The Utes will touch up, and we'll have a penalty here, a high sticking call. And I believe it will be number 14, Zachary Jerome, the guilty party. Sandy, Utah native. The Sun Devils will get a power play opportunity with 19 seconds left in this first period. Brett, the power plays that seem to revolve around the end and starts a period is always the toughest. The Sun Devils will try to get a quick strike here before the period ends. They win the draw. Studios in the slot. He wrists one. Loose in front. Bouncing around. Kruk settles it and will whip one that Anderson saves. 7 seconds left. Lackey at the point with the puck. Size up a shot. Fakes it into the slot. He'll reverse it now to Plurd. The one-timer, and they score! Just before the period ends, we're at double zeros, but it doesn't matter. The Sun Devils with a tic-tac-toe power play tally, and it's 2-0 Arizona State.
The Arizona State bench was yelling at the 5 players in the offensive zone of letting them know where the time clock ended up being. And Elliot Plurd, with poise on his stick, being able to know how much time was left, ended up working a beautiful chance to Adam Havner on the back door, and he ends up slipping that one in on the one-timer opportunity as he was all alone back door. And Arizona State finishes off this period with adding another goal.
And you rarely ever see it, a walk-off goal to end the first period for Arizona State. The special teams coming up big for the Sun Devils in the first, Brett, as they got a shorthander and a power play tally.
Usually only see those in baseball with a little bit of a bat flip. I didn't see a stick flip from Adam Havner in the corner, but nonetheless, it ends up giving the Arizona State lead now to 2 goals.
And talking before the game, the coaching staff confident the Sun Devils could come in tonight and get a big victory, a statement victory over the Utes, and this is certainly the way you'd want to start out if that is going to be the case. Sun Devils lead 2-0 as we go into the first intermission. We will be back in a little under 15 minutes for live action in the second period of tonight's contest between the University of Utah Utes and the Arizona State Sun Devils here on ASU ACHA Hockey YouTube. Welcome back in, folks, as we are about 20 seconds away from starting the second period of tonight's game between the Arizona State Sun Devils and the visiting University of Utah Utes. And Brett, the Utes, a hot start to that first period, but ultimately it was the special teams for the Sun Devils that had the edge.
Yeah, I think a big momentum swing ended up being that shorthanded goal scored by Husted with the help of Kenneth Miller, and that really turned the tide for Arizona State. Also getting another back-breaking goal for Utah late at the buzzer of that first period.
Sun Devils looking to build even further upon that as the first line back out for head coach Tate Green. Blurred will clap one in. That takes a funny bounce in front of that. Anderson can't cover it, and Studioso will push it wide. Things getting exciting in front of the crease of Anderson as there's a call back behind the play. The Utah Utes will push it forward, and the Sun Devils touch up, and we will have a penalty as Studioso was getting friendly with the defense of the Utes in front of the net. And things started to get exciting. Tempers started to flare a little bit, Brett. We've been seeing this since the start of the game. The Utes doing their best to get under the skin of the Arizona State Sun Devils, and ultimately it pays off as they'll be on the power play.
When the Utes have been able to win that initial draw and slow the play down the offensive zone, they've been able to generate some scoring chances. I think as more and more as time goes on here in this hockey game, they're going to get more comfortable.
The Utes looking to get on the score sheet. That one-timer as Moore fights it off. On one knee was Myers. He ripped that one. The Utes will get the puck back. Behind the net, trying to dig it out of his skates, was Hunter. Back up to the point now. Landakuzik on it. He'll switch with Dix. Landakuzik over to Dix. Dix will reverse and send one into the corner where Hunter will pick it up. Kowalczyk applies the pressure, though, and Landfear with the clearing attempt. It won't go. Kept in by Meyer. Back to point, Landakuzik. He fans on it, and Studioso can send it down the ice as the Utes applying quite a bit of pressure, but ultimately can't get a shot off.
Once they ended up winning that initial draw, you could see some confidence growing with Utah, but their goal scorer, Landakuzik, ended up fanning on that shot.
Landakuzik will bring it in. Feed one into the slot. Jerome fires one. That deflects back up to the point. Kept in by Meyer. Meyer takes a hard check as Husted on the penalty kill, applying the pressure for the Sun Devils. Jerome in the slot. He'll fire one, and he scores! Zachary Jerome with a howitzer from the slot, and Utah cuts the lead down. It's 2-1.
Jerome ended up finding a soft spot right at that left hash mark in front of the goaltender Moore. All alone, a blown coverage for Arizona State when they're trying to kill off that penalty, and Jerome ended up opening in his body and was able to wrist one off the post past the goaltender Moore. And Utah now, with an early goal in the second period, have changed the tide a little bit, now only down one.
King will win the draw, and the Utes will stump it right back in and look to get to work as they've built a little bit of momentum for themselves. Osworth will play pitch and catch with Husted as they continue the game. Husted will fire one all the way up, and Havner collects it and skates across the blue line. Platt going to the front of the net, trying to settle the puck down as the ice still a little bit wet after the cut during the intermission. Havner will cut in the corner, pass it over to Platt as they'll reverse. Havner, he wanted to get Husted in the slot. Husted does pick it up, but it's pushed out by the Utes. Maybe a breakaway for King, but Husted with an active stick will come back, and he will get the puck for the Sun Devils and deny what would have been a breakaway opportunity for University of Utah. Cahill, his breakout pass broken up by Havner, and he'll keep it in the offensive zone. Hoffenkamp, fresh legs off the bench, gets it to Havner. Back to the point, Slavik will fire one. Hoffenkamp looking to deflect that, couldn't get his stick on it, and Anderson will cover.
I think Arizona State needs to be a little more simple in the offensive end. I think their heart's in the right place of them trying to bring some more momentum and juice to their game after giving up that early goal in the second period, but they're being a little too cute in the offensive end. Like to see them sure things up more.
Landfear with a shot from the point, and that'll be gloved down. And Brett, we've seen it this year. The goals for Arizona State, they either come off of pretty passing plays from that first line or just getting dirty and keeping it simple in the offensive zone. As a more meat and potatoes line on the ice now for the Sun Devils. A very big line between Hoffenkamp and Shaw. Landfair as well, but he can't handle the puck behind his own net, and the Utes will push it to the front of the net, and Moore will get his paddle down and slow things with a whistle. As Utah getting their first win in a long stretch after taking some hard-fought losses against Minot State and Jamestown on the road, winning the back end of a 2-game series against GCU and trying to bring that momentum in here, as the independent program for Utah has had quite a tough schedule this season. Hoffenkamp throws it into the corner board. Shaw gets a stick in. Shaw and Hoffenkamp will fight, and they'll win the puck in the corner. Hoffenkamp trying to feed it to the front as Jet Larson found a soft spot. Back at the point now. Miller throws it into the leg pads of Meyer. And Utes can send it down the ice, where Kruk will pick it up and push things back the other direction. Sun Devils trying to be fast in their counter. Hoffenkamp, he loses the puck. Larson comes in to help him out. Hoffenkamp gets it back to the point. Kruk fakes the shot, feeds Miller. Miller doesn't like what he sees, as he'll go diagonally to Hoffenkamp. Miller activating from point, going to the net, but the shot never came. And he'll retreat back to the blue line as Shaw trying to keep possession for the Sun Devils in the corner. He takes a hard stick check. Gets a little help from Jet Larson. Hoffenkamp steps in, but the Utes break it out and come the other way. A 3-on-2 if they can hurry. Larson coming back to help out. He forces a sharp angle shot, and that's easily gloved down by Bronson Moore, as a tired group of Sun Devils gets a change.
With this being a long change, again, it's going to be tough on both teams of being able to time their changes correctly and not allow an odd man rush going the other way.
Brett, you can almost feel the Utes gaining a little bit of confidence with each passing shift right now, as they're really starting to settle into this game. Benedetto, his D partner, couldn't handle that pass, and the Sun Devils will try to get out of their defensive zone as Kowalczyk takes a hard ride, ends up on all fours, but he gets the puck to his forward as Palumbo, the veteran winger, will throw one down the ice, just missing Demon though, and that'll be an icing.
You can also measure as well how Utah's been able to have a lot of offensive zone draws, and usually that spells one possession in the offensive zone, but as well as two, being able to keep your opposition pressed up against your defensive zone and you're just waiting and capitalizing on a mistake.
That goes up into the netting as Bronson Moore emphatically will glove it away off of the hop. So we see Austin Palumbo step into the circle, and Palumbo, Brett, one of the few veteran forwards for Arizona State, really has grown into that leadership role this season.
He definitely has, and you can also see it on the penalty kill. He is one of the main guys, along with Drew Platt, of being able to block a few shots. Although it doesn't show up on the scoreboard, it's definitely something that's measured in the room as well as within the team.
Landon Kuzik trying to pick it up. Cannot. It's Palumbo who'll bring it in. On delayed offsides, though, the Sun Devils have to touch up. And it's Utes skating it the other way. Ensign has it stripped. Deneen fakes out the defense Meyer. Throws one into the slot, but Palumbo was trying to go to the front of the blue paint. And it's the Utes back the other way. The goal scorer, Jerome, on his backhand, trying to feed Landon Kuzik. Palumbo with the read, and he'll get it out of the zone. The Sun Devils a partial change behind the play. Plurd almost picking the pocket of Dix. Deneen almost forcing a turnover as well, as the Sun Devils working hard right now to ensure they keep that one-goal lead. Landfair with his head up wanted to throw one all the way down the ice as Lackey looked to be in behind the defense, but Lackey will get the puck, feed it to Plurd, drops to Lackey, he'll fire one. Anderson doesn't know where it is, as I believe he got a no-look save there, and Landfair keeps it in. Lackey fighting off a check. Studioso delivers a check. Back to Landfair. He'll throw it towards the net. The deflection from Lackey wouldn't go. As a Salt Lake City native himself, TD will keep it alive for the Sun Devils and get it back to Lanphier. TD activates, pokes it to Plurd, versus to Lanphier, who feeds to Lackey, but a bobbling puck evades his possession, and the Utes back on it now. Light with speed across the blue line. He'll get past TD, but it's broken up by the Sun Devils. And Plurd can skate it forward as he gets in behind the defense. Paolo on it, sends it up the half wall. Light didn't see the puck coming, and it's TD on it now. TD, though, having trouble corralling it, and Light comes back the other way. Light pushing it forward to McCarthy. McCarthy in on a breakaway backhander, and it goes just wide of the net. In front, it's old Utes. Brought some more laying out, but he can't save it, and King with a big goal to make it 2-2. And the Utes, with a couple quick ones here in the second period, have knotted the game up.
Unfortunate for the defenseman TD as he was trying to release the wrist shot from the offensive zone blue line. Ended up having to hobble over his stick, and that allowed Utah to go the other way. And for Bronson Moore as a goaltender, you're really in charge of making that first save, but no Sun Devils were hustling on the back check, and that allowed Utah to put away the rebound.
Utah right now getting outshot by the Sun Devils 2-1, but it doesn't matter as they put in some hard work on the special teams, and now 5-on-5 to tie this game up, and it's on the Sun Devils to respond. Havner looking to pass one in front as Husted was going to the front of the net. Digging it out now is Platt as he'll push a little too hard, and the net comes off the moorings. The referee signaling no change behind the play, as both teams will keep on the same group of skaters.
For every game, head coach Jake Green always mentions to his group of Sun Devils before they hit out on the ice that they want to play a full 60 minutes. Sun Devils having a little dip in their performance early in the second period. I'd like to see if they're able to wrangle it in and go back to the way they were playing in the first.
And Brett, the sign of a good team being able to overcome adversity right now. The adversity, you could say, a little bit self-imposed for the Sun Devils. But nonetheless, they'll look to come back from it. Slavic steps in from the point and fires a wrister that was labeled for the upper corner, but Anderson gets that left glove up and corrals it.
When you end up giving any goal lead, you're back tied up and it's a new ball game. Now we're playing almost a condensed 60 minutes here starting in this middle half of the second period, and it is important to be able to get your bearings and be able to get a foothold back in this hockey game.
Slavic claps one wide of the net. Hosworth will step in and keep it alive. Down low now, Havner, a nice little move to sidestep the defense. Havner in front, and Husted can't get the shot off. Husted delivers a check. He'll dig the puck out in the corner. Platt coming in to help him out. And now Platt will skate it down low, feeds it to Havner. As Husted trying to get the puck back from the Utes, Benedetto reverses one all the way around, and it's picked up by Milic, as he'll just send one all the way down the ice. Icing waved off. Moore settles it down, plays behind the net to Slavic. Slavic a little trouble with the puck, but he'll feed it off the glass and all the way up to Husted. Husted across the line. Tries a nice little triple deke move, but it gets skied up into the netting, and Rainbow's out of play.
Utah doing a little better in the offensive zone with their forecheck of not allowing Arizona State to build up enough speed in their own zone and to try to use and attack the Utes. Instead, they're being able to slow the play down a little bit, and like what they have here, be able to cause the Sun Devils entering in offside.
King picks up a loose puck in the neutral zone and will get it deep. He's stepped into by Kruk, but takes the check well. Hoffenkamp skating out from his own end. Got caught between two minds there and turns the puck over. Light back on it for the Utes. Light behind the goal line. Throws one in front, and the Utes score! Light with a quick touch pass in front to Otto Chow. And the Salt Lake City native makes no mistake, and the Utes, with 3 unanswered goals, take the lead.
Utah was able to create the turnover in the neutral zone. The captain, Alex King, was able to read the pass, and then that allowed them to dump the puck in and go to work. And from there, they were able to find a soft spot in front of the goaltender Moore, and Utah ends up taking the lead.
Otto Chow getting his 4th goal on the season in 12 games played, and it couldn't have come at a better time for the Utes. They take the lead on the road here in Tempe 3-2 and have all the momentum. Ensign in the offensive zone, cycling for the Utes, trying to feed in front. Studioso knocked him down, gets the puck, pushes it ahead to Plurd, and Plurd will just send one down the ice, and that will be an icing call. And Brett, you can feel right now the Sun Devils struggling to get a grasp back on this game.
3 different ways you can try and get a stranglehold back on this hockey game for the Sun Devils. One, you want to be a little more direct, being able to not be so careless with the puck, but also, 2, of being able to keep the energy up, especially on the bench. Even if you're not out there on the ice, you still have a role in this hockey game.
Paolo fires one, and that's waffle board away by Moore. Ensign steps in to keep it alive. TD trying to dig it out. Gets some help from Studioso, but he loses stick, and it's the Utes who push it down low. Ensign on it once again as the Utes happy to get dirty down below the goal line. But it's Plurd with speed, trying to skate it out. He'll backhand one just in front of Lackey. Paolo didn't make a play on it, and icing's waved off. Paolo takes a big check from Brendan Studioso as he wants a call, none forthcoming. The Utes bring it back the other way. Landa Kuzik on the left wing throws one in front, and Moore will ski ball that up into the netting for a stoppage as Brendan Studioso maybe trying to get that energy going, Brett, as you mentioned a minute ago, with a big check behind the goal line.
And what I like about his check as well is that he didn't end up trying to overexert himself, take himself out of the play. He let it allow that play to happen organically and that hit to come to him, and from there ended up making some solid body contact on the defenseman Dix.
Brett, you mentioned Palumbo earlier with some great work tonight on the PK. His line will step out now and look to get things going for head coach Tate Green and company. As the Sun Devils may be trying to mimic that hard work of the Utes and get the 4th line out to get dirty. Deneen chips one. That goes off of the padding on the stanchion next to the bench. And after a brief pause, the referees decide to blow it down.
And when you end up giving up a lead in a hockey game, you got to focus on not what happened in the past, what's happening in the present right now, just like in life. And that's, again, another good characteristics of a team that's trying to make their way into the national tournament like Arizona State is this year.
Some great hockey advice and life advice from my partner tonight, folks. I hope you've got the notepad out at home. I'm certainly motivated here standing right next to him.
I won't charge you guys any extra, don't worry.
Light at the point. Wanted to feed it down low. Deneen broke it up. He wanted to get it ahead to Palumbo, but it's King the other way for the Utes. King fires one. Moore knocks it down, can't corral it, and pushes it into the corner. Chow, the first one after it. The most recent goal scorer, feeds it to King. He'll get up to the point to Dix. Dix will step into a wrister, and that goes high, just wide of the net, as he had all day to size that shot up. Sun Devils with their backs against the wall, trying to play defense. At the point, Cahill fires one, and Moore will blocker that away. Kept alive by the Utes. Dix sends it down low, just out of the reach of Chow, and Moore will come way out to play it. Feeds it into the corner. Palumbo can clap it down, and Demon maybe a breakaway if he can lift the stick of Cahill. Cahill still lifting his stick, knocks down Demon. No call, and the Utes will send that one up into the boards for a stoppage as Connor Deneen looking to get his glove back with action coming all over the ice right now.
Physicality is starting to pick up a little bit. As well as Arizona State, a little disgruntled of giving up that 2-goal lead, now down a goal. Utah is also as well trying to bring the physicality.
Austin Palumbo, the assistant captain, who might add is sporting a great stash for Movember with a brilliant play defensively to chip it off the glass just in front of Demon. But it was the effort of Cahill who denied Demon that breakaway opportunity. Just under 9 minutes left in the second period right now. Sun Devils with maybe their best shift of the period, courtesy of that 4th line. Miller, though, will just send one off the glass and turn it over. Platt works hard to get the puck back, and he will. He chips it into himself, looks to the front of the net. Miller activating, but Platt can't get the pass through, as Brett Meyer made sure to come back defensively and break that up. Coming the other way is Jerome. Jerome fakes the shot, kickstarts to Harley. From down low, he'll try to fire a low one, but Moore read that all the way and made the save. Havner chips it off of the half boards. Husted sidestepping a check, but he can't get it ahead to himself. And the Utes will go for a partial change here, as the Sun Devils look to come back the other way, catch him off of that change. Havner feeds it to Husted. Back to Havner. Havner to Husted, and he had his stick lifted, couldn't get the shot off. Landekuzik the other way. Miller can't keep up. It's a 2-on-1. Kowalczyk, the last one back. Landekuzik looks for the pass, and that deflects just behind the net. Still on it is Romero. Landekuzik knocked down, looks for a call. Referee won't give it to him. The Utes still on the puck. Romero sidesteps Miller, but not before Miller can plant him with a big check of his own. Jet Larson on the puck now for the Sun Devils. He'll chip it down the ice. Kept in, however, it might have hit the linesman, and the Sun Devils forced to break out of their own end. Kowalczyk feeds it to Shaw. Shaw, fresh off the bench, comes in with speed. Shaw wanting to get behind the defense, make a power move to the front of the net. He does. Larson picks it up. A little behind him, he can't get his shot off, and Light will poke the puck off of his stick. Lanfear, however, keeps it alive at the point. Tries to chip one deep, but Paolo picks it up, sends it forward to Nahara, who will dump it into the corner boards. The captain of the Sun Devils gets it up to Shaw, who will delay and feed Larson. Larson trying to weave through the middle of the ice. He cannot, and the Sun Devils will dump it in. 7 minutes left in the second period. Sun Devils with a bit of a push of their own right now as they try to fight back and get into this hockey game. Slavic risks a hard one around. That'll be perfectly chipped down the ice, short of an icing, short of the roof. And Shaw can get after it. Larson almost picks it up right in front of the goal. But he'll look to get for a change, as he was on the ice for quite a long time there. Quite a bit of action right now, Brett, and maybe courtesy of the hard work you said the Sun Devils need to get back to. As Meyer wanted to skate it through a handful of Sun Devils himself. And it's Hosworth who will step up and feed it to Lackey. Lackey sidestepping a check of King, and that creates a turnover. Lackey hooked behind the play, and that'll be a penalty to the Utes. Lackey sidestepping another Ute, as Bronson Moore will skate all the way to the bench for an extra attacker, and Lackey will wisely go back behind his own net and wait for said extra attacker.
Credit to Clayton Lackey again, drawing another penalty tonight. Was able to outwork the defenseman Dix and ended up causing him into an interference play.
Hosworth across the blue line. They're on sides. Lackey went to the front of the net. Hosworth wanted a deflection, but Anderson gloved that, and we get the stoppage as the Sun Devils will go on a much-needed power play.
Sun Devils only down a goal, only a shot away from them tying up this hockey game. They had a good spell with their third line with the new combination of Shaw, Hoffenkamp, and they were able to generate some offensive zone time, and I think took a little bit of the wind out of Utah's sails without having a break, thus having some of that momentum during that shift.
Sun Devils trying to grasp onto that momentum that they just generated and use it on this power play. As we've seen them strike once on the power play, it was a very quick strike to Boat. Husted gets it back to Kowalczyk. Kowalczyk at the top of the umbrella wanted a wrist shot. That blocked in front by Landekuzik. Behind the net, Shaw. Ultimately feed it to Hosworth. He'll walk the line. Husted switches with him, but the pass wouldn't go, and Landekuzik applying the pressure short-handed. Husted having to work hard just to fight him off. The assistant captain now will feed it over to Hosworth. Kowalczyk back to Hosworth. He'll kick it ahead, but Husted was going for a change, and the Utes come back the other way. Landekuzik trying to go between the legs of Hosworth. He read that, breaks it up, and the Sun Devils restart behind their own net. A minute gone in the power play. Hosworth feeds it Studioso. Studioso had Kruk behind him, but will skate it himself all the way around the offensive zone. Gets past Meyer, feeds to Lackey. Back Studioso, he wants it. Studioso delays, fires one in front. Kruk can't find it. The puck kicks back out to Studioso. 38 seconds left in the power play. Lackey on the half wall. He'll skate back up to the point. Switches with Havner. Over to Lackey. That pass a little behind him. He has to settle it down. He'll feed Plurd in front to Kruk, and he rips a one-timer just wide of the net. Sun Devils dig the puck back out. Studioso wants the seam pass. King doing a good job to break it up. Thrown in front of the net, deflects wide. Down to the final 15 of the power play. Studioso fakes a shot, gets it to Lackey. He'll dust it off. Looks for the shot, wants the pass, gets Studioso. The deflection just wide from Plurd. Sun Devils with all kinds of chances right now, but none will go. Even strength as the power play dwindles down. Plurd on it again, looks for the shot, and that one swallowed up as Kruk was waiting on the doorstep, and the Sun Devils with plenty of opportunities but no goals to show for it.
A tired Utah group of 4 out there, and Arizona State just couldn't capitalize. They had a few chances. One ended up being the tip from Kruk in the middle on that back door, but they were unable to connect. Another chance, Kruk ended up popping up in the high slot, but he just missed a one-timer opportunity, and he was uncovered. And unfortunate for Arizona State, as they did a great job on that power play generating chances.
Sun Devils will need to keep their heads high here and continue that hard work. The Utes clearly giving nothing easily tonight. Hoffenkamp digs the puck out. He'll hold down the defenseman as Shaw tried to dig it out, but Shaw ended up pushing it right into the skates of the defenseman, and the Utes can break it out the other direction. Jerome will go all the way behind the net. He has Paolo at the point. Paolo wanted it, but it was the active stick of Titi who breaks it up. No icing as the Sun Devils dump it down off of a deflection. Paolo the first one there. Jet Larson holding him firm against the boards, and Hoffenkamp will come and help out and dig the puck away. The Sun Devils create a turnover. Hoffenkamp in front to Larson. Larson still on it in front of Hoffenkamp. Shaw stepping in. Second chance at it. And Anderson gloves that one down as the Sun Devils almost scoring off of a turnover right in front of the Utes goal.
Arizona State's third line again buzzing in the second period as Shaw had a few stabs at the puck of being able to try and put one past Anderson to tie the game, but the goaltender was there to answer.
Fourth line back out for the Sun Devils. Something the coaching staff said they wanted to get more of tonight was some ice time for that fourth line. And it seems to have worked if they've helped build that momentum back up for the Sun Devils. Coming back the other way are the Utes. They fire a wrister just wide of the net, courtesy of King. Deneen picks it up. Off the half wall to Demon. Demon can't corral the pass, which is too bad as he had Palumbo who was waiting to get in behind the defense at the blue line. 2:15 left in the period. So Utes getting the puck across a choppy blue line. King in the slot. He'll fire one through traffic and he scores! Alex King wiring one, a seeing eye puck through the defense. Bronson Moore never saw it until it was behind his back. And the Utes open up a 2-goal lead. It's 4-2.
Tough one for any goaltender. Moore was perfectly screened by, I think it ended up being Dix was down there for Utah. And he had no chance as it ended up being the captain King. Ended up converting on a goal. He's already in with an assist as he's able to break that puck up in the neutral zone earlier in this hockey game, and he's now able to give his team a 2-goal lead.
And Brett, we've seen it before, the opportunistic team taking advantage of their chances. And so far tonight, that has certainly been the case with Utah, as the Sun Devils have outchanced them pretty handily in this game, but the Utes are taking advantage of all their good scoring opportunities. Sun Devils won with one of their own, but Anderson comes way out to challenge Hosworth, and he will make the save. Platt and Havner in the corner. Try and dig the puck out. Romero will fire one at the point. Kept in by Kowalchuk as he bodied it down. Feeds it to Platt as he takes a check. Platt to Havner. Havner delays, looks for a pass. Gets back to Kowalchuk. Kowalchuk steps in, wires one high and wide, and that'll go all the way around and out of the zone. And Havner has to hurry back. First one on the puck. As the Sun Devils look for more. Platt across the blue line. Feeds Hosworth. As Platt going to the net for the deflection. Kicks one out. The Sun Devils dig it out, get it back to the point. Kowalchuk faking the shot, feeds Hosworth in front with traffic. That's deflected just wide of the net and into the corner. Romero will look for the clear. He'll get it out, a couple sticks on it. Ultimately, Hosworth picks it up at the blue line on his backhand. He'll feed one, but it goes straight to Romero as we're inside the final minute of this period. Platt chips one down low. Havner, the tired winger, will just come in and try to apply pressure. He forces the Utes one direction, and Husted will come in and strip Ensign of the puck. Ensign, however, strips him of the puck, and he'll skate it across the red line. 30 seconds as Ensign fires a wrister, and Moore will save that. And we finally have a stoppage after the Sun Devils with some more good shifts. And Brett, it's hard right now for this bench as they've gone extremely quiet beneath us, but the Sun Devils need to continue applying the pressure because they are the better team right now. They're just getting outchanced right in front of the net.
Not getting the bounces, but Arizona State has to keep going at it in this hockey game if they want to come back, and also shows a test of character as well.
The Utes trying to get a seam pass to go. Jerome couldn't handle it. Plurd takes a hard check, but feeds it up to Lackey as we're inside the final 15. Lackey on his strong side, goes behind the net. Lackey still delaying, and he'll drop it to Lanfear. Lanfear wants a wrister, and that blocked at the point by Landekuzik. He'll chip one down the ice. Moore comes out to play it, and that will do it for the second period. As the Utes score 4 unanswered in this 20 minutes. And Brett, they really caught Arizona State off guard this period. The Sun Devils looked like they might be walking away to an easy victory tonight, and that certainly is not going to be the case.
The way Utah played that second period, it was a full team effort. The goaltender Anderson had to make a few stops. The captain King was able to be a catalyst for his team and get things going. And for Arizona State, it's not like they didn't generate chances. They did. They just weren't getting the bounces going their way. And so now they're walking into the locker room down 2 goals, heading into the second intermission, and we're going to see the test of their character and see how much they've learned over this course of the season and see what they draw on to bring themselves back into this hockey game.
And to paraphrase one of the great sports broadcasters of all time, Cotton McKnight, adversity doesn't build character, it reveals it. And we will see what exactly is revealed in the final 20 minutes of action as we are 15 minutes away from the third period. Don't go anywhere, folks, as we've got more exciting ACHA hockey just around the corner here on ASU ACHA Hockey YouTube. Welcome back in, folks, here to Oceanside Ice Arena. I am Niall Cooper. My partner is Brett Vaughn, and we are going to bring you some exciting third period action here as the Arizona State Sun Devils trail 4-2 to the visiting Utah Utes. The Utes peppering Arizona State in the second period, getting 4 past Bronson Moore. Sun Devils finished that period strong, however, and looking to build on it with an early shift in the offensive zone right here. Platt pins the defenseman against the boards. Havner tried to dig it out. Husted steps up, but the Utes get past him and will bring it across the blue line. Light trying to slide one into the slot. Landfear breaks it up. Light still on it as Husted comes back, gives him a rough ride. Light drops it to Chow, back to Light, to King. His wrister won't go. Chow tries to get one off in the middle of the slot, but Kowalchuk breaks it up and will skate across the red line and dump it in. Sun Devils changing behind the play. Havner the only forechecker in. Studioso picks the puck up at the blue line off of a turnover, tries to take it to the net. Plurd digs it out of the skates of Chow, feeds Studioso, back to Plurd. Plurd thinks better of a shot, feeds it across to Miller. Miller slides to Kruk, he fires one, and it looked like Studioso got his skate on it and broke up that shot, but he'll get the puck right back to Kruk. Kruk slides to his left, throws one in front, that deflects just wide of the net, courtesy of Plurd. Kept in by Miller. Miller fires one, and Anderson will stand all the way up and glove it down.
Good start for Arizona State. They know they're on the back foot. They still have a lot of time left, 18 minutes in fact. And with them getting it going early, they're able to get themselves a little more comfortable into this period, down 2 goals, and are able to chip away at it shift by shift.
Sun Devils trying to chip away a little more at it, but it's Miller who chips it right to the Utes, and they bring it the other way. Ensign across the blue line. Tries to deke Kruk. Kruk reads it, pins him against the boards, and Plurd picks it up. 3 Sun Devils back the other way, but they'll be offsides as Plurd delayed a little at the blue line and Studioso in ahead of the puck.
Unfortunate for Arizona State. You want to try and have the other team negate your offensive chance, but instead Arizona State end up getting in their own way that time, going offside.
ASU wins the draw, and they'll chip it into the corner boards and get after it. Sun Devils with a sizable advantage in the shot column right now, but they'll need to pad that even further if they want to get back in this game. Shaw will backhand chip it behind the net. Jet Larson can't get the puck. Hosworth will pin himself against the boards and keep the puck in. The Sun Devils throw it all the way around where Jerome will pick it up. Squirts off the edge of his stick. Arizona State back on it. Slavic slides it over to Hosworth. He'll wrist one in front through traffic. Anderson sticks that away. Hoffenkamp creates a turnover with a good poke check. Shaw trying to feed one in front as he got taken down, and the pass just in front of Jet Larson. Landekuzik the other way, throws one on. More blockers it into the corner where Landekuzik can be the first one back to it. He'll get behind the defense, slide in front of the net, toe drag, whips one around, and Moore just getting a stick on that. Jet Larson tries to chip it out, but it's kept in by the Utes. McCarthy on it. Ultimately gets it back to Hosworth, however, and the Sun Devils can push it ahead and get in behind the defense. Hoffenkamp to Havner. Havner runs into the referee, and the Utes will get the puck out. Skate past Husted across the red line now, and Landekuzik will fire one in, creating a rebound in front of the net. Landfear just has to chip it into the neutral zone as the Utes answering that first couple shifts of the Sun Devils. Kowalchuk behind his own net will slide it over to Havner. Havner back across the Landfear in his skates. He couldn't handle it, and the Utes get the puck right back. Kowalchuk picks it off in the neutral zone. Platt just gets back on sides. Up to Husted. Husted through the slot that poked off the edge of his stick, and he'll have to go dig it out in the corner. However, some hard work from Nahara benefits the Utes as he'll get it across the red line, takes a hard check, but will chip it in. Kowalchuk getting the physicality going for the Sun Devils. As Landfear will send one down, the Sun Devils all on the other side of the ice, however, and so Romero will pick it up for Utah. Slides it across to his D partner as Dix will chip it down, not far enough for an icing. Miller, the first one after it, turns it over to King. King in the slot to Light. He'll slow the puck down. Get past Plurd. King comes in to help out. Studioso trying to bat one out of the air. And the Utes send it back down low into the corner. Almost 5 minutes gone here in the final frame. As the second line out right now for the Sun Devils, trying to get things going. DiBenedetto reversed it, but the Sun Devils the first ones to that puck. It'll be kept in at the point, thrown down low, but Studioso fell down before he could get the puck. The Utes trying to get a quick clear. Ensign just chips it as far as the point where Lackey gets it. He'll slide past Ensign, skate it down low, and skates it right back up high. Lackey switches with Kruk, sends one across to Miller. Miller settles a rolling puck, throws one towards the net, but it's picked up by the Utes, and they'll just fire it back down the ice. Sun Devils, a nice little breakout as Plurd skates across the blue line. Plurd sidesteps his man as Light tried to lay a hard check. Plurd feeds to Lackey. Lackey claps one. And a great job by number 30, Anderson, to not give up a rebound off of a hard shot from Lackey.
Seems to be the message in the room after these first 5 minutes of play has been Arizona State wanting to play the puck up to the point and have their defensemen take point shots with traffic. That's a good recipe for success, especially down 2 goals. You can't be cheap with the puck in the offensive zone. If there is an awesome play, go ahead and make it, but otherwise don't force it and go up to the point.
Hoffenkamp will keep that alive at the blue line on the turnover. Sends it down low, just out of the reach of Larson. Ensign will push it into the neutral zone. Sun Devils right back on it. It's the big third line trying to get things going for Tate Green and company. Braden Shaw lays a hard check. Gets some kudos from the bench, but Hoffenkamp can't get it deep. Hosworth will try his hand at it, and he skates across the blue line. Chips one into the corner. Jet Larson trying to be savvy with it, and that gets rimmed all the way around. Hosworth and Hoffenkamp come over to dig it out. The Utes just trying to slow things down right now and eat up as much clock as possible. The Utes will get on the puck here, but Shaw working hard to turn it over. That just squirts out in the neutral zone, however. The Sun Devils still waiting. So Hoffenkamp has to come back and tag up. Hoffenkamp now whips one around to Shaw, to Hosworth, to Larson, and that goes just high over the net. The best chance of the period for the Sun Devils. The bench encouraging him to continue. Larson on it again. He'll backhand one. Picks up his own rebound, fires it just wide. Hoffenkamp back on it. Feeds it up to the point. Hosworth walks the blue line. Slides one over to TD. TD will switch with Hosworth. He wants to reverse it. Ensign stop that from happening, but it's Larson on the puck now. He'll send one wide of the net. Hosworth activates as he wants to seal it off. The Utes will chip it off the glass, and that goes up into the netting for a stoppage in play, and the best shift of the period for the Sun Devils.
Third line for the Sun Devils, Larson, Hoffenkamp, and Shaw, and they ended up almost creating a goal for Arizona State on that shift. A few good chances, but the goaltender Anderson has been doing his part of keeping his Utes in this hockey game.
He certainly has. Faced 34 shots tonight, stopped 32. And it's Romero the other way with speed, being hounded by Houston. Romero gets the shot off, fought off by Moore. He takes a hard check in front of the net. As that play blown dead, McCarthy with his stick up in the air, none too happy as he had a gaping net to throw it in. But Moore down, clutching his head. The referee didn't want to risk anything and blows the play dead just to be sure Moore's okay.
Couldn't get a good view of it, but it seemed that the goaltender Moore ended up getting ran into by either one of his teammates or the Utes player as they were both fighting for that space in front of the goaltender's net. Luckily, Moore looks no worse for the wear.
An injury scare for the Sun Devils with their workhorse in net, and that was right after another big save by Bronson Moore on the counter by Romero. Sun Devils keeping things at only a 2-goal deficit. Referees want him to keep it moving, and they do. Kowalczyk will skate it out. On his backhand, he skates past McCarthy. Feeds Husted. Husted throws a soft one in front of the net. Nobody there. Havner seals the wall, keeps the puck alive for the Sun Devils. Husted comes in, helps him out. He gets the puck. at the blue line. Husted will sauce one all the way across the Landfear. He reverses to Kowalchuk. Kowalchuk fakes it to Havner. Havner shoots. That goes just high and wide. Husted keeps it in at the point, chips one down low. Havner the first one on it. Havner and Platt going to the net. Decides to pass to the point. Kowalchuk, he fires one wide. Nobody to pick up the rebound except for McCarthy and Red. And McCarthy will skate it out. Gets past Landfear. Trying to get past Havner. He cannot. Platt lays a big check. And he'll get the puck as Kowalchuk feeds Husted, who has to sidestep the forward, but Light does get the puck. Light, a windmill move, fires a wrister just high and wide of Moore. And Paolo will step in to keep it alive. 11:30 left in the final frame. Sun Devils trying to get the lead down to 1 for the Utes. The Utes trying to pad it and get that much-needed insurance marker. Fourth line on now for the Sun Devils. In the slot, Connor Deneen kicks it forward to himself, picks it up behind the goal line. Works his way into the slot, sidesteps a couple of Utes, still on his backhand. Deneen feeds one in front, but the paddle down from Anderson denied the pass as Demon was waiting just in front of the blue paint. Palumbo, he saw Hosworth stepping in from the point to pass a little behind him, and that goes all the way down the ice. Fourth line for the Sun Devils with a great shift as they're generating a lot of chances and really tiring down this defense of the Utes. Ensign, the speedy forward, will bring it back the other way, throws a knuckle puck, deflecting off the stick of Kruk just over the top of the goal. Light still on the ice in the corner, working over Hosworth. Couldn't get his pass to go. Deneen all over it, and Deneen with some hard work on the puck will draw a penalty as he pushed it through the neutral zone, fought off the hard stick check of Light. Light ultimately guilty of a slash.
Deneen doing great work on both ends of the ice as he had a spell of possession in the offensive zone, but then in the defensive zone, he was able to work hard, outwork his Utah player that he was covering in the defensive zone, ended up forcing Light to take that tripping penalty, and now Arizona State, with some momentum, have a power play.
That gets past Lackey at the point. Havner has to skate back and play defense as the ever-dangerous Landon Kuzik was the first one on the puck, but luckily for the Sun Devils, it just squirts off the edge of his stick. That killed 15 seconds. The Sun Devils back on it. Havner, a nice seam pass, and his shot blocked as Havner looked like he had that labeled for the lower corner of the net, if not for a clutch block by Dylan Dix.
Game saver by Dix. Again, those little things help lead you to some W's.
Lackey drops to Havner. Not quite on the same page, so Havner has to restart. Hits that seam pass to Studioso. From the seat of his pants, Studioso feeds it to Lackey. They're in on sides. Lackey drops one, the one-timer, and Anderson flashing the leather on Elliott Plurd. A big save for the Ute goalie. Another shot on the power play for the Sun Devils, and they just can't get one to go.
I think Plurd's going to be kicking himself a little bit as he's heading to the bench. Not that it wasn't a great opportunity he just had, but he had a little more time and space, and he could have even collected that and even skated a little more towards the net and a possible better scoring opportunity.
Chow, he'll try to backhand one out, kept alive by Kowalchuk. Husted feeds it back to Kowalchuk, over to Husted, back to Kowalchuk. Kowalchuk wants the shot, passes it to Hosworth, he fakes, skates it back into the dot, feeds Kowalchuk, he rips one just wide of the net. That heavy one-timer from Kowalchuk, ever dangerous. Kowalchuk, some quick passing, finds Hosworth, and his pass in front of the net couldn't find a stick and ends up rimming around and out of the zone.
Utah bending but not breaking on this power play.
Benedetto strips the man of the puck, comes back the other way. He throws a backhander wide of the net. Platt picks it up and reverses it as he takes a hard check from Chow. And the Sun Devils, with 19 seconds left on the power play, will come up with one final rush on the man advantage. Hosworth meanders across the blue line, skates it down low, feeds Plurd. Plurd fresh off the bench, trying to slide one down low. That pass broken up by Dix. Kowalchuk keeps it in at the blue line. Feeds to Houston. He claps one just wide of the net. Shaw couldn't get his stick on that to deflect it in. Kowalchuk takes a hard check from Dix, and it's the Utes who bring the puck back the other way. Light sidestepping Husted. Light still on it in the feet of Hosworth, picked up by Ensign. And the Sun Devils going to go on the penalty kill here, as it was Wyatt Light fresh out of the penalty box, and he draws a power play of his own for the Utes.
Looked like Light ended up getting tangled up with defenseman Hosworth, and they both were swirling around like they were dancing together in the corner, but it's going to be Hosworth's going to be tiptoeing his way to the box.
Brett, maybe a little bit of frustration there on that penalty?
I wouldn't say so too much. I just think Light was able to get a step on Hosworth and ended up drawing the penalty call.
Some hard work from the Utes, something we've seen all night. Landon Kuzik picks that up, throws it in front, deflected just wide of Moore. Off the stick of Dalton Hunter. Meyer on it now. Keeps his balance and will reverse it. That puck on the stick of Miller, but just squirts over his stick. King picks it up, gets it back to the point, down low. Works its way over to Landon Kuzik. He takes a hard check from Kruk, stays on the puck. Landon Kuzik in Gretzky's office. With a little razzle-dazzle play, chips it up to himself. On the half wall, he wanted to throw one through the middle to King. Picked up in front, digging away at it are the Utes. King behind the net, feeds Landon Kuzik. Moore with a big save. Meyer at the point. The Utes looking for more. Deflected in front, loose in the blue paint. Moore with another save, and he will cover it up. And we will get a whistle as Bronson Moore with a couple spectacular reactionary saves to keep the deficit at 2.
Dangerous opportunities for the Utes. Arizona State were unable to pick up sticks in front of the goaltender. That allowed those second chance opportunities being taken by Utah, but Moore with a few big stops.
Now, Brett, we all know the old cliche by now, your best penalty killer has to be your goalie. King will win that draw for the Utes, gets it back to the point. Dix will reverse it a little as he waits for his wingers to begin their breakout. He'll skate in himself, but he gets bodied. The Sun Devils will throw it all the way back down to the opposing blue line. Platt, some hard work after it, almost causes a turnover. King brings back to the way. Hunter in the slot now, feeds Landon Kuzik. Landon Kuzik behind Lanfear, throws it in front to King. Sun Devils, the first one's on the puck. 35 seconds left on the power play for the Utes. Puts the Sun Devils coming back shorthanded. Husted fighting off a check, tries to toe drag into the slot. That broken up by Hunter. Landon Kuzik will sidestep Platt across the red line. He'll gain entry into the zone. Throws one in the slot. King on it, backhands one. Moore makes the save. And the Sun Devils clear it down the ice. Moore, another big save. Miller takes a little chop at the puck. He'll get up to Lackey. Lackey will give it right back to him as the Sun Devils back at even strength. Icing waved off. As Miller just trying to get it out of his feet right now. Ends up turning the puck over. He'll get it back. This time feeds it to Lackey. And not a bad option if you're Kenneth Miller when you see Clayton Lackey next to you, as he can seemingly generate offense just about out of anywhere. Plurd, the first one on the puck behind the net, trying to find it though as he spun around, and that allows the Utes ample time to pick the puck up and clear it. 5:30 left in the final frame. Sun Devils are going to need a big push right now to get back in this, still down by 2. Miller across the blue line, backhands it in the slot. Lackey tries to pick it up. The Utes get to it, and they'll just whip one down the ice, and that'll be an icing.
You can hear some of the frustration on the ice coming from Arizona State's end. We're coming down to crunch time, 5:18 remaining in this third period, and for Arizona State, they're going to have to, again, be a little more direct, but also a little more hungry. I think during that forecheck, there could have been a little more assertiveness shown by Arizona State. You got to be a little more hungry down 2 goals.
Sun Devils looking for their first shot in the last 3 minutes of action. And it's going to take some hard work and conviction, as they're going to have to take it hard to the net and work for something dirty. That one thrown in front. The rebound kicks out. Slavic stepped in front of the net, whacking away at it is Shaw. Jet Larson on it now. The third line back out for the Sun Devils. They've been making things happen all night. Shaw trying to fight off a stick check from Nahara. He'll chase after him. Hoffenkamp will help him out. Hoffenkamp on his backhand wanted to feed Jet Larson. The passing lane wasn't there. They get it back to the point. That shot through traffic, broken up. And the Utes will push it back the other way. Light trying to stick handle past Slavic. He does, but Slavic a good job to stay with his man as he'll push him off of the puck and Moore will cover.
I've been loving the play of the third line tonight. Bringing it, the energy, bringing the juice, and we'll see if it's going to carry over as the second line is going to be popping out for Arizona State. But again, a great shift, a few scoring chances generated, but just weren't able to convert.
Sun Devils almost hitting the 40 shots on goal marker, something we have seen more than a handful of times. Although with only 2 goals to boot, they're going to have to dig deep here inside the final 5 minutes. Meyer keeps it in. Hosworth will backhand one up to Havner. Havner passes that a little bit in between Husted and Platt, and the Sun Devils will have to restart behind their own net. As Brett, Arizona State, just looking for that good breakout pass right now.
Yeah, and trying to build up some speed.
Once again, a little bit of trouble with it, and Havner will figure 8 in the neutral zone. Throws a pass all the way up to Platt, who sidesteps the check. And a diving effort by Paolo pushes that one out again. The Utes just disrupting things in the middle of the ice. Platt sauces one to Havner. He'll push up to Kowalczyk, a little out of his reach. Kept in by Husted. Husted spins around, 180. As the puck along the half wall, Sun Devils dig it out. Lanfear pushes it right back into that pile. Worked over to Kowalczyk. He'll fire a wrister, and that blocked in front of the net by the assistant captain, De Benedetto. Lanfear steps in from the point, keeps it alive. No one within a country mile of him, but the Utes turn it over, and Husted the first one on it for the Sun Devils. Husted at the point, finds Lanfear. Lanfear sizes up a shot, blocked again. The Utes just getting in the shooting lanes right now. That thrown over the glass and up into the crowd. And effectively an icing here for the Sun Devils as the Utes don't get a change.
Utah's forwards doing a great job blocking those shots. They're getting in that shooting lane, and from there they're able to negate the offensive chance and force Arizona State to have to regroup in the neutral zone.
The Utes taking a very well-timed timeout here. As we mentioned, a tired group on the ice, unable to change. And this will also allow the Sun Devils a chance to size up a play. Brett, maybe a little something like we saw at the end of the first period when the Sun Devils had that quick strike on the power play.
Yeah, something like that. 3 minutes. Still a good amount of time, down 2 goals. We've seen the Sun Devil team before on the road, in fact, be able to come down a few goals deficit under 5 minutes, and they're going to have to cook up another plan for tonight's game.
This is certainly a scenario where you'd like to be able to look to your best players to be your best players.
It'll also be interesting to see when head coach Jake Green's going to pull the goaltender more for that extra attacker if it comes to it.
Lackey will face off in the circle against King. King wins it. Studioso hounding away at the puck. He slows things down enough for Plurd to get it into the slot. Pushed over to Kowalczyk. He fires one just high and over the head of Anderson. Hosworth steps in to keep it alive. The puck bouncing around, but the Sun Devils on it. Studioso wants to make a move to the front of the net. Broken up to the last second by Meyer. Kowalczyk steps in to help him out. Studioso fighting off a stick check. Gets taken down, and that will be a penalty. And for the second time this period, going to the penalty box will be number 13, Wyatt Light. And the Sun Devils, some hard work in the offensive zone. Couldn't get a shot on goal, but will draw a power play with 2 minutes and 40 seconds remaining.
Though they didn't win that initial zone draw, they ended up hustling to that puck in the corner, winning it first. That allowed them to keep the possession going. Ended up then forcing the Ute Light to go ahead and take the penalty. And also what it seems to be too is that the referees also deem Brandon Studioso taking a penalty, as well as both players ended up getting tangled up. And now it'll be 4-on-4 action.
Kowalczyk went over to the referee, tried to get an explanation. Nothing sufficient, at least, seemed to come his way, and Studioso Not too happy as he sat down, clanked his stick against the glass. The Sun Devils, though, will have to push on. A little extra ice might benefit them here as the skilled players are out on the ice. Husted to Plurd, to Kowalchuk, fires one through traffic, loose in front of the net, picked up by DiBenedetto. And we'll have a call here on the Sun Devils as someone went hard to the front of the net and interfered with the goaltender. The goaltender, Anderson, doing his best to sell the call as well, which you certainly can't blame him for. As the goalie, you have every right to the blue paint, as that's your guaranteed ice. And the Utes now on a 4-on-3 power play with 2:22 left.
Not the greatest thing for Arizona State to take a penalty, so now we're going to have a weird situation of a 4-on-3 power play, but also, too, it's happening so late into this hockey game, and it's for the team that's leading. So for the Utes, you have to think it's going to be in the cards for them to possibly hold on to this lead with this man advantage.
The infrequently seen and dreaded 4-on-3, certainly dreaded if you're the Sun Devils, because the Utes have absolutely no reason to push for a goal here. They could easily just kill this clock down to the final 30 seconds of the game. Power move to the net, electing to pass it at the last second. Jerome can't handle it. Jerome back on it now, looks for a shot. That goes wide of the net. Picked up by Landekuzic. He'll slide one down low in the skates of DiBenedetto. He'll delay, skate back to the front of the net, looking for the pass as Kowalchuk laid out to break it up. DiBenedetto on it, throws one behind the net as he wanted that no-look pass to Landekuzic. Landekuzic straight back to the front of the net. Moore with a glove save. And Lackey on the puck now will skate it out with speed. The Sun Devils trying to push the other direction. Lackey gets through three to the front of the net. Plurd after it, and that'll be a cover in front by Anderson. As he and Lackey give a little whack to each other. Anderson certainly didn't want anyone coming in and hitting him once again.
Speedy forward Lackey was able to generate that offensive scoring chance. It was interesting that Utah ended up electing to get a few scoring chances, but that allowed them to be counterattacked the other way.
Sun Devils still not electing to pull the goaltender. Down 2 inside the final 90 seconds. Lackey creates a turnover. Hosworth on it now. Hosworth will skate it up. Hosworth trying to backhand one to Lackey. Couldn't get it to him. Plurd will just whack one from the neutral zone. And that goes deep where Anderson will settle it down. Dick's on it now. He pushes one up to Ensign. Ensign in the neutral zone. Feeds it to King. He'll fire a wrister. And Moore will glove that one down easily. With 53 seconds left on the clock. 13 seconds left on the coincidental minors before we will move to a 5-on-4 power play. And with a few more players on the ice, Brett, that might be the chance where Arizona State can maybe cause a turnover and go the other way. And the 4-on-3 situation, so much open ice. A little hard for the Sun Devils to chase the puck down as the Utes just dominating possession. That back in the neutral zone, and the Utes can just skate it backwards and delay. Chow bringing it forward, 45 on the clock. Drops it to Meyer. Sun Devils push that as far as the blue line. Kept in, trying to throw one in front. That shot deflected off of the stick of Hoffenkamp and up into the netting.
Pretty even game so far, I'd say, as now looks to be Arizona State taking a timeout, possibly able to cook something up. They have 13 seconds left on that man advantage for Husted. And if they can win this offensive zone draw, possibly spring that man for Arizona State coming out of the box on a possible breakaway if the play ends up unfolding that way.
At this point, we're looking for a bit of a miracle, Brett. 2 goals in 34 and 6/10. Certainly not out of the question for Arizona State, one of the few teams who can stage those late game heroics, but they've certainly put themselves in quite a bit of a spot here. That taking nothing away from the Utes, who have done an amazing job tonight, playing the kind of game that you mentioned in the pregame, Brett, that we thought we might see.
Yeah, it was just going to be simple. It wasn't going to be pretty. They were able to capitalize on their opportunities that they were looking for, and they have been bending but not breaking defensively.
Lackey will try to win it. He does. Kowalchuk sends one around the boards. Hoffenkamp the first one on it. He'll feed one to Lackey. Lackey trying to skate behind the defense. He does. That's a delayed offsides. And they'll push in the neutral zone, the Utes do. 20 seconds on the clock. Kowalchuk. He'll feed a headman pass up to Lackey. Slides one across. Hoffenkamp. Plurd going to the front of the net. Hoffenkamp trying to dig it out. We'll get it back to the point. Kowalchuk, that shot through traffic a little bit high. Plurd picks it up, throws it in front of the net. Nobody there. And the Utes will skate it back the other way across the blue line as the final seconds tick off. Kowalchuk getting familiar with a few of the Utes as he laid a check at the final seconds of the game. University of Utah skating out tonight with a big 4-2 victory on the road. Their second consecutive victory. This coming against a big-time ranked team, number 15, Arizona State. Utah, you can see the jubilation on their faces as they go back to congratulate the winning goaltender Anderson, who faced 41 shots tonight and stopped nearly all of them. Sun Devils will salute the crowd with the sticks in the air, and we'll bring you up here into our broadcast booth for our post-game recap and wrap-up. I'm Niall Cooper. My partner, Brett Vaughn, will slide into the picture. Brett, as we get a little friendly, working with our grade A camera tonight. And it was certainly a grade A performance in the first period from the Sun Devils. However, if you were a teacher assessing marks, there would have been a lot of red marks in the second and third periods for Arizona State.
Yeah, Arizona State took their foot off the gas in that second period when they had that 2-goal lead. And for Utah, it was great signs of character show by them of being able to fight their way through that first period and come out with it 4 unanswered in the second period, and that really swung this hockey game tonight.
It certainly did. The Sun Devils seemingly could never bounce back, although it wasn't for a lack of trying. The Sun Devils facing a lot of adversity tonight, and they certainly got back on the horse. And one thing that I was pleased to see from the Sun Devils was it wasn't just their first two lines that were driving the plate tonight. It seemed like, especially when they were trailing, it was the third and fourth lines that really stepped up and gave them a chance.
And for Arizona State, it's not like they weren't generating scoring chances. Just bounces weren't going their way. Even calls, you could say, here or there were not going their way either. But in any type of hockey game, it's always going to be different. You're going to have to battle through some adversity at points. And for a young hockey team, they're still learning how to go through that. But it's a building block that they can learn and take with themselves later into the season.
Certainly a building block, and hopefully they can work on that tomorrow when these two teams square off once again. You'll be on the call, Brett. 7 p.m. will be puck drop. And what do you expect to see from the Sun Devils? Is I'm sure the coaching staff will certainly be looking to light a fire under them tomorrow.
Yeah, a little bit of a wake-up call, I think, for Arizona State. They're going to be happy because, you know, in 24 hours, that quick turnaround, they're going to be able to go back out on the ice again, play against the same Utah team, and take what they learned from themselves tonight and put it forth tomorrow.
And right now, our OxyPow player of the game, Brett, who is it for you?
It's going to be the captain, number 25, Alex King. I was really impressed with him of being a leader on the ice in terms of his play. He was able to corral one of the turnovers in the neutral zone that led to that second goal for the Utes, as well as be able to play with little tenacity and show hustle and effort out there for his Utes team and led by example.
He certainly did lead by example. My honorable mention, of course, will be Anderson in net. He made a lot of big saves for them, a lot of timely saves, and the Utes just up and down the lineup. A great performance tonight from all of them, getting a big-time victory on the road. Well, folks, we'd like to thank all of you who tuned in tonight and stuck with us. An exciting game. We'd also like to thank a few special people who make this broadcast possible each and every night. Our statistician tonight was Mr. Johnny V. Our cameraman, Chase McLaughlin. Our director of research was Kia Murphy, and our studio engineer back at Network Central was the one and only Sharon Lynn Cooper. I am Niall Cooper. My partner tonight, Brett Vaughn, reminding you of the final score. The Arizona State Sun Devils 2, the University of Utah Utes 4. We'll be back here tomorrow night at Oceanside Ice Arena. And until then, so long from ASU ACHA Hockey YouTube.